the Global Radio Network 99.5 FM. This is a great day to be in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas in the middle of the week, which is a Wednesday. I'm very grateful to be alive and well because I understand there was a murder yesterday and two people were slaughtered in the Camp Road area. And it's a sad thing. We're losing so many men. And it's a very serious concern for the Bahamas. I know, for example, in the Gaza Strip, you got hundreds of thousands of people being moved all at once to the south. And Israelis are giving a command for them to get out. They don't want the Hamas to have a state. They call it a terrorist state. And of course, the President of the United States, Donald Trump, he has come up with a new strategy for the situation between Russia and Ukraine. He's saying now that Ukraine can get all of the land, all of the territory they had before. And he calls the Russian government a paper tiger. And there are others that refer to Russia as a big bear, a black bear. All right? Now, a bear is a very strong animal, and it's big, and it takes a lot to put him down. But you're going to see a lot of conflicts like this. And of course, the nations of NATO and the European nations are supposed to be supporting the president of Ukraine. Of course, he and President Bush had met at the UN. All nations of the world are gathering at the UN. I don't know whether the president of Russia is going to be there or he may send a representative. But all the nations are gathering at the UN for discussions on different matters relating to the situation in the world. And you will have meetings and they will come up with their own plans. But the only thing that's missing is God. Where's God in all of this? We seem to be having all kinds of meetings and discussions with others, but God's word is not included. God says, because of their carnal mind is enmity against God. We do not have God in our knowledge, Bahamians. That's why I'm saying to you, in this upcoming election, let's give God a chance to get it right. Because when he tells you something, that's what it is. You can believe it, you can have faith in it, you can trust it, it will work on your behalf. You will hear a lot more about that as we go further. Because some of you have been misled and deceived over the last 52 years plus. Do you know when majority rule rolls around in January, it'll be 59 years since majority rule. And people of color had an opportunity to set this place right. God gave us 58, going on 59 years. And we have somehow mismanaged what God has given us. And the most difficult thing to do is for humans to admit when they're wrong. And you will see that in the behavior of our leaders and also the average person, because some people think it's okay to tell lies and be deceitful and be dishonest because they're leaders. They're accused of doing something. Someone asked me, how do you know whether a person is righteous or not? There was a person who called yesterday and used the word corrupt 3 times, referring to those who are running the place. I said, how do you know they're corrupt? I didn't get a clear answer on that one. Because he wanted to know, how do you know whether they're righteous? Well, you listen to God. God will tell you. He can tell you who is corrupt and who is righteous. He's going to balance the thing for you so you could have clear understanding. He's not going to leave you in doubt. But human beings will leave you in doubt and make themselves believe that they have it down pat. Look how long we've been struggling with this issue of crime. We had 2 people just murdered yesterday. We seem to have people running around, just going in people's place, going in people's yards, firing gunshots. Whoever get hit, get hit. And that's very unfortunate. Where is the protection of the Royal Bahamas Police Force? Are they being paid to protect the citizens of St. James Road or wherever the incident occurred? In that particular constituency, people are sitting in their yard, either having a gathering together, and you can't even meet peacefully in your own yard and have a discussion, except you have these Japanese cars. And that's another thing we're not looking at. Where are these Japanese cars coming from? People seem to use them for criminal purposes. We have record after record after record after record. We got the street full of Japanese cars. Then you have shootout in the streets. I remember I was in Bain and Grantstown just, I believe it was Sunday. And one of those persons just decided to pop up on his scooter. We were going south, he was coming north. And he could easily lose control of that vehicle and had the front end way up in the air in a congested area like Bain and Grantstown. And he could easily run into some pothole or some gas on the ground or some oil or something, some banana peel or something that could cause him to lose control, and he crashed right into the windshield. Then what? But Professor is still here because of the protection of God. Where is the police? Aren't they supposed to be protecting you? Where's my protection? Where's your protection? Are we doing a good job in protecting the citizens of the Commonwealth of Bahamas? Let me say the government of Bahamas. When I say the we, let me refer specifically to the government of the Commonwealth of Bahamas. They're the ones who are given the authority to run this place. So you got to take the positives and the negatives. They want to take positive things, but they don't want to take the negatives. And plenty negatives are out there. Because people have all kinds of problems and challenges. People have had their relatives slaughtered. And that's two, and then one got injured. They say he was discharged. But you can't keep them long in the hospital now because they don't have any space to keep them. That's how it is, Bahamians. When they say discharge you, that means they got to get you out of there quickly so to make space for someone else to take that bed or whatever, gurney, whatever they are laying on. That's how the situation is at Princess Margaret Hospital. And there's some other problems with dialysis. We heard that yesterday. And we have to do some digging into that. We have to speak to the authorities, see if we can get them live on air. Because when I say anything to them, I want you to hear what I say to them and what they say to me on the radio. I don't want any private talk, because I'm not in for that. Tell them that right off the top. These things are national issues that affect the Bahamian people, and I believe we're not putting enough emphasis on having them solved. We just allow them to exist. We don't put pressure on those who've been given the responsibility to run the place. A lot of you just simply sit in the dark and you talk with your friends around maybe the table. You sit under the tree and you talk this, you talk that. You talk people's business too much. That's your problem. You don't discuss issues that affect your daily life. You don't pay any attention to that. The boy sitting right in his house and gunshots being fired right in Bain and Grantstown. And he got struck sitting at the table doing his homework. And he died right there, Bahamians. Now you're in your house now. Come on. You mean the police can't protect you while you're in your house? So what happened? The police force gets a whole lot of money. You're paying these officers plenty money to do their job. And yet still, Where is your protection when you go out on the street? What security can they give you? We need to ask these kind of questions, but we don't. Are you going to be safe when you walk down the road? Or you driving in your car? Someone comes and runs smack into you head on. That stupid personality on that scooter. Only by the mercies of God, I'm still here. But he could have lost control, run straight into the windshield, and bing! But it has happened to some people. And families have lost loved ones just like that. The fellow sitting in his house doing his own work and he got killed. So what's the solution to that, Bahamians? This incident occurred some time ago, and since that time, all kind of things have been happening. 2 murders last night or yesterday. And the thing is that we aren't even doing anything of substance to ask the appropriate questions. We're talking foolishness about I can give the fella an A, a B, a C. What kind of crap is that? Famous, we need to wake up quickly because we are losing our country to strangers, foreigners, aliens, outsiders. They're walking around here big as if they own everything. And they are presumptuous people. They sure they come to take over. But there's a God in heaven who will stop them. But we have our role to play. We have to do some things. God always keeps his word. So when God tells you when the righteous are in authority, Proverbs 29:2, the people rejoice. The minute you elect a righteous person under the fear of God, you begin to rejoice right there and then until Christ comes back. But no, you haven't done that yet. And then the fellow going to ask me, how do you know they are righteous? I say, how do you know the government is corrupt? There was no answer to that one. Why are you calling the government corrupt and you can't say where they're corrupt? When I speak about the government of the Commonwealth of Bahamas, I bring the facts to the table. And I show you where they are not constitutionally sound. I put it in that language. But there are people who use the word corrupt very loosely. They say that parliamentarians are corrupt, the government is corrupt, the civil servants are corrupt, the police are corrupt, the defense force is corrupt. What about you? Are you corrupt? If all of them are corrupt, maybe you're corrupt too. Anyhow, I have my special guest waiting. My special guest today is Lady Philippa Russell, my good friend of 21 years. I think next month is October. I've known her for 21 years. We have a good working relationship, business relationship now. We are still friends, but when it comes to business, business is business. When it comes to being family, we have that. So we don't get mixed up. Lady, welcome to Express Yourself on the Global Radio Network 99.5 FM.
I thank you. I thank you, Professor Thompson. It's a privilege to be your guest today and to be allowed to promote our upcoming town meeting to be held on Friday, 2 days, at the Zion Baptist Church on East Street and Shirley Street. Very popular, uh, foundational Christian facility. It's been in our nation for a long, long time, presided over by the Reverend T.G. Morrison, who gave a very spirited message on January 10th, 2024, more like 20 months, 20 months ago,
20 months.
and telling us that the cultural disparities that we have tolerated will lead to the total destruction of this nation. And he encouraged us to do some things. Now,
Yeah.
since that time, there was a lot of talk, a lot of activity. Monies were collected to do specific things that never happened. And so the town meeting on Friday is a very carefully orchestrated counteroffensive to all of the nonsense and time wasting that has happened since the Reverend gave us that admonition that we needed to do something.
Yes.
And so, because we are a Christian nation, we follow the patterns, the established Christian patterns that has brought us thus far. We know that God is the great I am, and He has standards, He
Yes.
has rules. And so He has called us to gather in a Christian assembly with songs and praise and carefully crafted conversation to arrive at a conclusion,
Yes.
one that He would approve of. We won't have any machetes or guns in the room because we don't solve our difficulties like that. We inherited a wonderful Westminster system of justice. If people say the wrong thing about your name and defame you or slander you, we have the courts. Matter
Yes.
of fact, I'm going to file a complaint at the police station shortly because I want police action. And some people who used my name in a derogatory fashion, trying to prevent us from having this town meeting. Now, what kind of a Bahamian are you? No, let me rephrase that. You cannot be a true Bahamian and try to prevent the Bahamian people from gathering to work out peaceful solutions to the problem that confronts us. It's a major crisis. If we cannot resolve it smoothly, it will destroy our nation and the future for our children and grandchildren. God gave us this place. We
Yes.
didn't fire one shot. It was by negotiation, pen and paper, and a wonderful queen who put some protections in there where the people, 50 plus 1% of the Bahamian people, run this country. We're going to prove it very soon.
Yeah, let me just add to that, Lady Russell, because from September of 1729, of course, I remember September because September is my birth month.
Yes.
September of 1729, when the House of Assembly opened. From that day up to now,
Hmm?
and I believe the Bahamas is the only nation on the planet that has that kind of record.
Yes.
Those 300 years of
Yes.
continuous parliamentary democracy, it hasn't
Yes.
been perfect. We need to do some improvement on it. We have
Yes.
had one administration after another without
Yes.
firing one single shot to change an administration. We're not going to let any wicked people get
Yes.
involved in our business to destroy the name, the good name of the
Okay.
people of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. We do not
Amen.
use guns. We do not use machetes. We do not use cutlasses. We do not use iron and all these crappy things that people do. We don't smash people with rocks in their heads like so many do. We are not that kind of person, but we have
Nope.
some people in our midst with their wicked, evil, abominable ways.
Yes.
We as Bahamians have to prevent that from happening.
Amen.
And I
And
believe Bahamians, hold on, Lady Russell,
mhm.
I believe Bahamians need to fully understand the kind of constitution that we have because I know from years of experience
Mhm.
and those who have been trying to discredit the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. You
Mhm.
see every single law that has been
Mhm.
passed in this place through the eye
Mhm.
of the Constitution. The
Yes.
Constitution is the supreme law of the land, but there
Yes,
are
it is.
those who want to run this place contrary to the Constitution. And you just sit back and take the crap from them, not
No.
a day like it. Go ahead,
No.
lady.
Well, I think a lot of people, Professor, do not understand the system of governance. They do not understand how our laws are to be uh, carried out.
That is true.
We've inherited a system that only a few understand management of it, and so that is sad. Um,
Let me
but
let me
what
just
what? Go ahead. Go ahead.
let me just add this. When
Hmm.
you look at the Constitution,
mhm,
I heard another particular personality just reading from the document
mhm,
very carelessly when he was talking about representatives of parliament, members of parliament, and the information was very inaccurate and not precise.
mhm. I think I know him.
The Constitution says Parliament consists of Her Majesty the Queen,
Mhm,
a Senate, a House of Assembly. That's your Parliament. Now you got to understand
mhm,
what that really means, and it takes
mhm,
time to explain it. Now, a lot of Bahamians are beginning to listen now and are getting knowledge and getting understanding, and I'm going to tell them. You have
mhm,
those out there who are using the airwaves and the paper and every
mhm,
means they have available to them to
mhm,
discredit this most valuable document that we have
mhm,
inherited from our forefathers. It is your
mhm,
salvation document, Bahamians, along with
mhm.
the Holy Bible. And I've said
Amen.
many times on this show, you stand on the written word of God and you
Amen.
stand with the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, you straight. I believe I hear the music in the background.
Yeah,
Made the
that's
band. I need to shut up. This is Professor Sidney McArdle, Walter Thompson, my special guest, Lady Philippa Russell. We're discussing about this issue with Constitution and this proposed town meeting that's going to be held on Friday. And we want Bahamians to understand the importance of that document because it's your salvation document. You're listening to too much crap. That's the problem with our people. You gossip too much. You talk people business too much. Talk the business of the nation. Ask the right questions. Don't ask about giving a person an A, a B, a C, or D. That means nothing, Bahamian. Ask the right questions. And a lot of you do not do that. This is Professor Sidney McArdle, Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network, 99.5 FM. We'll be back after the break. on another incident that occurred in his particular constituency. And I want you to listen carefully to what he says, because I'm going to comment on it after the tape is played. Ms. Lucy, you have it in place? Put it on, please.
Gunmen may have missed their actual target or targets. When the community tells me about the persons who were there, the persons who were not injured at all who were there, who might have been the targets, and the person who died, and the other persons who were injured, who may well have not been the targets. It is an unfortunate incident that people are at the point, young men are at the point, that they find it acceptable to be running around with high-powered weapons and killing other people. That's not normal. There's no excuse for it. No poverty, no lack of opportunity could excuse that. So it's just reprehensible. And there are people who know who these people are. And you may be content to sit down with them, but understand that when you know that and you keep these people around you, and the Bible says if you live by the sword, you die by the sword, somebody may come for them, and then you can be caught up in the whole process. So it's important that if persons know that somebody is involved in this sort of activity, that somebody has firearms, to let the police know.
I agree everything what the minister said. I have no disagreement with anything that he said, but I'll say this. If you have people like that, and you do, I have no difficulty with the comments made by the Minister of National Security. I think it's dealing with reality. But the government of the Bahamas has a responsibility to protect the citizenry. Even though you may have individuals around who are harboring criminals. Now, that information has to get to the police. The police have their job to do, to investigate and so on and so forth. But it takes the cooperation of the people. So I agree with the minister. You know these things, Bahamians. And you notice what he said. They were not the intended targets. You know what that means? That could be another shootout. They're coming back for the people they missed. So what's going to happen to those who are already dead, those who were injured? I understood there was one, but maybe listening to the minister, there may be more than one person who may have been sprayed with bullets, and they would have injuries. They might not have gone to the hospital, I don't know. But based on what the minister said, I have no difficulty with his remarks. There is one time I can go along with him. Because see, when a minister speaks objectively and openly like that, that's a good thing for the country. So we got to commend him for that aspect of his ministry. But the point is, we need the people on the ground in the community. You parents who got these unruly children. Even one time we had one grandmother hiding the gun. I mean, grandmothers, how you all get like that? And then it dropped right out from under his dress, and the police had to take her into custody. We must not behave like that. I didn't grow up in that kind of environment. I could never say anything against an elderly person in my community. Not with my mother and father. They wouldn't believe a single thing what I said. You get a good whipping for that. Because daddy would say and mommy would say the same thing. If you were not there, your name would not be called. But here are people, based on information from the minister and what he was informed of by the people of the community. And this is why you need to talk to your community people. But community people, you have to understand you cannot allow yourselves to be caught up because your life could be taken. You, as the minister said, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. Unfortunately, some innocent people die by the sword. The fellow like me, I like living. I want to live till the man come back. Some of you may not be interested in that. But life is what I have, and I'm going to keep that by the grace of God. Lady Russell, are you there? Lady Philippa Russell.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to take hmm, I have a divergent opinion from you about what the minister said. The
Okay.
Minister of National Security and some other arms of the government have a responsibility, have a duty of protection over the Bahamian people. They have failed in allowing persons to come across our border. We don't know who they are. We don't know their names. They're not in our database. They commit crimes routinely and get right on that boat to Haiti on Saturday, the one that carried the 5 gallon buckets and the old tire, and they're out of here. And this has been allowed until there are now 4 planes a week coming out of war torn Haiti. But let me tell you what happened in Turks and Caicos today. I just saw the video. They set up a new immigration task force. They're chasing people down on the highway. They're going into apartments. Folks are running because they're going to be returned to their home. Now, Turks and Caicos had to take that position because it was now being listed as the highest crime per capita in the world. And that's because some other people moved there who live criminal lives, whose level of violence is, I mean, it's insane. They burn people down in the road, shoot up a whole nightclub. We, I cannot allow the Minister of National Security, who is tolerating that, to then wash his hands and tell me he's not bearing any of the guilt for the reality that's becoming horrible in our Bahamas. Our once peaceful Bahamas is now becoming a place of routine murder. Someone is responsible for that, and it's not the citizens. We hired them to
I'm
do
not,
a job, and it's not being done. And by the way, Brother Thompson, my garbage is piled high again. We pay taxes to have the garbage collected. If you cannot get the garbage collected properly, how dare you come to offer for public service again? You're incompetent, you're inept. And if it's not resolved quickly, I'm going to encourage Bahamians to bring the garbage down on Wednesday to the House of Assembly. Those are the people we hired to manage national garbage. So we'll bring it to them.
no, I'm not disagreeing with that at all, but you don't misunderstand my remarks, what I said about the minister. Now, I
Mm.
agree with what the minister said. Now, when it comes to dealing with the government of the Bahamas, as it relates to these national issues, I have been talking about that for a good while now.
Couple of
I
years.
am saying that the Bahamian people need to put the kind of pressure on the government of the Bahamas because the government of the Bahamas has the responsibility to protect the interests of the Bahamian people. I mentioned that
Yes,
in my first remark. I'm not
yes.
giving him a buy on that. I am
Oh,
also saying that the people who live in these communities, you've got to stop harboring persons who you know are criminally minded, who are involved in these things, because we have one series of events, one after the other. Fine, I have no difficulty with that. But the point is, the government has a responsibility to protect the interests of the people. I talked about the incident that happened in Bain and Grantstown and was down there.
mm-hmm,
The fella had run into the windshield. He happened on,
mm-hmm,
raised it way up in the high, and he,
mm-hmm,
so I was just saved by the grace of God. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that I'm giving him a buy because of the problems
mm-hmm.
we have. It is the duty of the government to do it. But the point
Yes,
is, we have to find a way to get this government to do what it's supposed to do, or some other alternative action has to be taken.
amen. Well,
I
that's
believe
where
we have.
I'm at. That's where
Hold,
I'm at, Professor. It's
hold on,
beyond the
Lady Russell. Hold on.
conversation.
I think Mr. Producer, I have a call on the line. Okay. Lady Russell, hold on for a moment, please. Caller, you're live on air. Go ahead, please.
Wonderful.
Hey, brother Professor.
Yeah, what you saying, man?
Boy, everything. Eric was saying when in this heat,
Yeah.
catching hell in this road, right in this road, hitting them these big hole and thing and all that.
They still got holes in the road.
Man, hole.
Mhm.
They
Man,
had them
hole and
patched
everything.
last night.
Professor, people see me in hole. Boy,
But
we are great in the road now.
I know we don't have no street lights.
Professor,
Mhm.
what think what's going on in this country now, Professor? They should be ashamed to walk around the house to house right now.
Yes.
Professor, how in the world you could walk around the people's house and look at people's face and you're being inside for all these years and want the people to vote you back in? Come on, Mama, Professor, man. They need to go to silence.
But do you know this is just recently the minister had a similar incident occurring in his constituency,
Mm.
right? And it would appear, according based on what he said this time, apparently the particular personalities who were involved in this criminal act missed the targeted people.
So there we go.
Yeah, I know.
So you know what that means, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Go ahead, caller.
But and you see what you see this murder thing ain't stopping for nothing. And with Professor, they ain't get no. I mean, what they get on the books for these crime and for these guys who doing all the crime, and they know who doing the crime, Professor.
Well, the police has a whole lot of intelligence.
They know some of these people that live in their neighborhood. Some of these guys that live in these police neighborhood. They know who doing the crime. But you got to realize, Professor, the guys who doing the crime are smarter than the police. Because they hiding away. The police can't do nothing. They catch them and let them out the next couple of days. These guys are more smarter than them. You understand where I come from?
Yeah, and the thing we keep hearing about these Japanese cars, man. And we see a whole army of them on the streets.
Yeah, but Professor, that's only thing to blame is people for. I try to Japanese car right now. That's all I can afford right now, Professor. And the thing that they, like I say, they getting the license plate, they getting the name and everything and all that, and they still ain't going after these guys. You see what happened in Freetown area yesterday?
Yeah.
The guys, you understand where I come from?
Yeah.
The guy who came looking for the other guy, he didn't even get killed. So the bystanders, them just standing up, just minding their own business and everything, and that's everyone just dropping. And the thing with that's the minister of national security area.
That's right.
So I want to know how he could feel when he walk up in these areas and with people getting killed, kids getting raped and all them different things, and you could hold your head up and you want a second chance, Professor, man. Come on, man, Professor. You think that's right? And you have no solution. No solution with no crime every year, every 5 years.
This is what I've been asking the people about their particular constituency, but no one is prepared. Well, at least someone said yesterday nothing has been done.
Yes.
So no constituency, as far as I understand, since last July the 8th, when I asked the questions, I put it out there, at the national level and at the constituency level. I cannot find one single community that says to me, Professor, these are the major constituency problems that have been solved in our constituency, and here are the clear-cut benefits we enjoy. No one has answered that.
Yeah.
Well, Professor, I live in Freetown, and I see nothing change.
Okay.
All I see is abandoned buildings, grass them high up there. You get a lot of children running around. You get a lot of unlicensed car riding around the place. You get still swamp, still water. People still got to walk through water to go to their get to their. Professor, man, how you can put these people shade on, and you got to walk through the water in your house, and you ain't making no noise. But telling that the MP that they'll go and put a drainage and think, man, Professor, see that's why that's what happened to the country now. You know, see, you got to realize this. They get their Grammy, their great Grammy job. The PLP them, they get their Grammy them. And the great Grammy them job. So the people them saying, oh, they had my Grammy out there. But come on, what's gonna happen? You can rather your future suffer for them little piece of government job, but you only making only a couple of dollars just to get you get. Professor, I just come with the food store and spend $200 on. When I love the girl bring out three little potato chip box. I say, oh Lord, the most all the money going now, and only 3 little box come out there.
Yeah, little box.
So what you think, Professor? I used to go in the food store for half an hour. I in the food store for an hour and a half just trying to figure out how this money gets spent.
Yeah.
The people could just stand up and walk around and put these people in back in. That's bad, Professor, man.
Well,
you understand where I come from?
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you, but then the point is, what are the people prepared to do? Because they are asking on other shows, grading their representatives, their members of parliament, and they're coming up with an A, a B, a C, or a D, which is a bunch of crap as far as I'm concerned, because you're not answering the question. What major constituency problems have been solved by
Yeah.
Mr. Wayne Monroe in that particular constituency? And
None.
where are the clear-cut benefits that come to those people? That is the
None.
question that needs to be answered.
Right.
I can't answer it. I can't answer all because I been around long enough before even him. I don't see nothing. The people, I don't see nothing. Nothing going on. I don't see nothing, Professor. This, and I don't understand the behavior. You see they say the percentage of people ain't working, Professor.
Yes.
And they're the same people who go put on these t-shirts and walk around and get a little bit of food and able to eat and everything, and know when they go home, they gotta face the consequences where they ain't working, Professor, man. Come on, man. How in the world you could come in your house and you could be acting like ain't nothing going on in this country, Professor, man. Professor, the people, like I say, I used to be in the DNA for all them years when they first started out.
Yes.
I campaign all over the place, Professor. The people are hurting, but Professor, I didn't see that much people them hurting, Professor. And I wondering why, how in the world they can still give these people them all these seats. That's the thing with it right there.
But this has been, this has been going on from 1968 right on up to this day as I speak to you. The Bahamian electorate has given two particular parties in this country such massive landslide of seats, man. But still we're not getting any problem solved on the constituency level and at the national level. That's the concern that I have. What is wrong with the electorate in this country? In the last two elections, it was 35-4. And then the last one, it was 32-7. What are we saying to ourselves? What is the electorate saying?
Insanity.
There has to be a strong message being sent. What does it mean? You can't keep going on like this.
No.
We're losing our people. Our communities are broke up. We can't get no proper street lighting. We can't get no proper road work. And the man who was a former prime minister, the roadworks went more than 100 million overrun. And there has been no real accounting for that 100 million plus. And then the small business committee that they got now, so they're giving out some trinkets and they want to tell the people how they're going to organize them and help them to run the money. I don't have no problem with that. But you've got the government itself not giving an accounting of the money. 100 million plus, man. Come on. And look how bad the roads are now. Those roads should have been shaped for 50 years. But look at the condition of the roads. You see what I'm saying? So what happened to all that money under Mr. Ingram that was spent on the road works? 100 million overrun, man. Come on.
But the Bahamian people didn't look at that, Professor.
But you have to look at it because that's a problem. That's a major problem. Not them couple of dollars, a small business thing talking about. I'm not saying it's not important, but what I'm saying is you got some big things that are happening in the country. Those are the things that are keeping us down. And we need to get people to see the quality of the people you send to do your business is the real problem in this country. Go ahead.
I agree.
Professor, look at the light bill, Professor, man. I know plenty of people right now hurting on, and you know what, Professor, when the light bill going up, we're supposed to be marching on, we're supposed to be down there terrorizing down there. That's what I don't like the behavior. Professor, 1 or 2 of us can't go down there and thing, man. They can lock us up. Even with 10. They can lock us up. We need a massive crowd to go down there with these people. Professor, my light bill going up. They can tell me, Professor, I look on my light bill, I see 2. I get charged with 2 fuel charges. They tell me once I reach over 800 kilowatts, I have to pay 2 fuel charges, Professor. Plus they charge me double on the VAT. But Professor, my light bill used to be $100-something. My light bill is $360-something now every month. So you imagine about the rest of people.
Yeah.
And they tell you don't burn no AC, but Professor, you don't mind talking no burning nothing, no burning no AC. They don't burn and I already tested out, Professor. Only thing was police is when your water heater and you iron them. Everything else you ain't putting nothing because I gone back from 2005 years, Professor, and I calculate all the bills and I look at everything else, Professor. and I running the same thing. So how, if I running the same thing, Professor, how the bill going back, how the bill higher than what it is now?
Yeah, you got a point. You got a valid point.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the Bahamian people just sit down, say, Professor, next thing before I go, we have the young kids, Professor, I try to talk to these young people to move it, make a change. Professor, they gone, I don't know what the people, them, I know if they parent them, manipulate them, or mess up their brain. But Professor, we have hell on our hand, Professor. And I try my best to try to let these people them know, we need y'all to come out there and get these people them out. Otherwise, not Professor, you can't complain when you get whipped and you have a chance to change the system. You can't complain when you get trapped in the system, Professor. You
Yes.
understand me, Governor?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
But anyhow, Professor, you enjoy the rest of the day.
Well, thank you for your
All right.
contribution. Lady
Mm-hmm.
Philip Russell, we get,
Yeah, I'm right here. He
I
sounds
don't know, but we're going to have to see how we can help to fix this problem. Go
he
ahead, lady.
sounds he sounds like a prime candidate for something new. We've got to
Yes.
get together and organize against these established patterns of fraudulent behaviors by
Okay.
people who we've hired to do our national business.
I have no
And
problem.
that'll require new agreements. We've
Yes.
got to form new groups to address specific problems.
Yes, ma'am.
You had a young man on your show yesterday. I was so pleased to hear him. What a natural leader from the inner city. And I remember listening to his show once. He has a show on Guardian. And so you have young people already in the communities, the caller you just had, who are willing to bring people together to do something different.
Okay.
That's what we're going to have to do. We cannot uh, depend on established systems that have not worked for us. That's insanity. To keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result. That's insanity.
We have had from majority rule, I'm counting the time now, January the
Hmm.
10th, 1967, up to January 10th of 2026. You're looking at 59 years.
Yes.
Lady Russell, that's a lot of time. And
Well,
the thing is that Bahamian people have to look at their condition on the ground. I have tried to stress that every time I come on the radio. I asked two questions and I will keep asking those two questions. I did it on Garden Radio yesterday.
mm-hmm,
And the man told me, the host said they are very good questions.
mm-hmm, but he had no
And
answer.
answers, Bahamians, you got to get answers to these questions. You can't keep talking crap about you giving your MP an A, a B, a C, or D. What the heck does that mean?
That's a wrong question. But let me say this, Professor. There was an aspect of the Constitution that you would always repeat, and I've given it a lot of thought, that we have a right to make new arrangements.
Of
We
course,
are not constitutionally bound to accept that which is being presented. We
that
are
is
not.
that is
We we can when we find out that we've been deliberately misled, it's time to do something new. And
that is
so I am so grateful that this Westminster system of justice that we have inherited, it works very well. When you find that you're a victim of fraudulent behavior, or people damaging your reputation, there's recourse. There's the police station. You file a complaint, it's investigated, the matter goes to court, the magistrate determines the guilt of the offender, and you get restitution, you get paid. We haven't worked the system that we have inherited. We've
no, we
worked it somewhat because we don't violently resolve conflict.
no,
And
we don't.
so that's worked for us. But we've got to do some new things. We've got to go in the neighborhoods. We've got to make sure the young people understand the tools that they are inheriting, the value of the real estate that the Constitution says they are inheritors and successors to.
Yes,
We got to stop selling our islands off to people who want to
no,
be
we have to
here.
stop that. We got to
And
stop
so there's some things that we have to do as elder gatekeepers, Brother
that. Yes, ma'am.
Thompson. We gotta that young man that was on yesterday. Oh, I'm looking forward to meeting him in the neighborhood, and he's taken some of our flyers, and he's going to ensure that the people who live around the Zion area, the downtown area, that they come to the town meeting,
Yes,
because what we've had there's lots of educated and power-seeking people that come to the Bahamian people and they doing all the talking. We've had enough of that. We've got
Okay.
to hear what these young people want. What are their expectations?
Okay,
What
Lady
are their
Russell, I got to put you on
aspirations?
hold because I got to
Yeah,
go to a break because my producer is
wonderful,
very fixed
wonderful,
with me. He's playing
wonderful,
in the background.
wonderful,
He's saying, Professor, you
wonderful.
need to shut up and let me get on with putting this break in place. This is Professor Sidney McGarta Walter Thompson, my special guest, Lady Philippa Russell. We're discussing about the problems that exist in this country and how we can resolve it. Proposed town meeting set for Friday at Zion Baptist Church, 7 p.m. All Bahamians invited. Bahamians of goodwill, Bahamians who want to see a better country. Because Bahamians, your constitution is your salvation document. You hear me say that all the time. That's all you have. Plus the Holy Bible. You work the two of them together, you have a winning combination. This is Professor Sidney McCarter Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network, 99.5 FM. We'll be back after the break.
heard. Speak your mind and express yourself. Call in and participate at 326-0271 or 326-0272. WhatsApp us your concerns on 809-2310. Follow us live on Facebook and globalradio99.5fm.com. Express yourself.
This is Professor Sidney Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network 99.5 FM. Let me see if I can say something to the Bahamian people. But Bahamian people, we got to learn to understand what's going on in this country. Now, I know a lot of you like to talk about what those who may be having the authority ought to do some things and they're not doing it. And like Lady Russell said, it is time for some new arrangements, new agreements, new plans, new personalities coming to the fore to deal with the crushing, burdensome issues that we have in this country. For 59 years, up to next January the 10th, next year, 59 years Bahamian since majority rule. How far have we come? Basically, we've had two major political entities given the authority from 68 right on now. And you have to ask yourself, how far have we come? Because when you look at the conditions of this country, we are far worse off than we were in 1967, 1968. And conditions are not getting any better. Now, there are some who might disagree with what the Minister of National Security said. Fine. That's their view. I leave that right there. But the point is the government of the Bahamas has a responsibility. If it isn't carrying out those responsibilities for the protection of its citizenry, that's just one aspect of governance. And while I would agree that people ought to cooperate with the police have tremendous amount of intelligence. The courts have a responsibility to mete out justice. Because they're saying to me, Professor, you can't take the law into your own hand. Okay, fine. Where's my protection then? Where's my protection from the police? I want to be safe when I go out. I keep my house. I get in the car. I'm going where I need to go. I'm not bothering with anybody. People sitting in their yard having a discussion. Maybe they're getting together. And all of a sudden you see people just bust in there and start shooting. Is that the way we want things to be? We can't run no country like that. So what do you do with people who continue in this kind of lifestyle? Or are these people, this is something that was mentioned, are these people that just hit and run, enter these facilities, enter this country, and then sneak out the very same day? Is that the kind of thing we're having in this country? I don't know that. But I do know this. I see a whole lot of strangers who don't speak English milling around in the community where I live. And I know they ain't no friggin' Bahamian. I can tell you that right off the top. These are people who don't belong in that community. So where did the hell they come from? We have to look at these things seriously, Bahamians. And it's going to take well-intentioned Bahamians to do something about it. You've got to support those who are in the front lines fighting to save the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. But you can't just sit on your butt and keep complaining all the time. You don't support anything because it takes funding to get things done. Callers, stay on the line. Don't go nowhere. I just want to get my point across. Now, I'm going to give out my email today. The State of the Nation, 242@gmail.com. I want 12,000 of you to send me that email with your phone numbers on it, Bahamians. We have a lot of work to do. The town meeting with Lady Russell and her team is working on is just one aspect of it. That's just one. There are many other things that need to be done, Bahamians. And this constitutional business is very serious business. The very survival of the country is at stake. Caller, you're live on here. Go ahead, please. Caller, you
Hello.
there? Go ahead, caller.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead, caller. I'm hearing you.
Yes, Professor and Lady Russell. Yes, I was prompted to call because I listened to your show yesterday or the day before, and you had
Yes.
on Valentino Brown, I think his
Yeah, he
name is
was.
it.
Yeah, he was on yesterday.
Well, who normally comes on every Friday in the inner city.
Yes.
Um, and he had some very, very excellent idea. He's doing a tremendous job in the community. But like you said, we is all of us have to come together and make the Bahamas a better place. Because really and truly, I mean, with the increase of violence and the things that goes on that has been going on in this country in the last 20, 55 years alone, notwithstanding the last 20 years,
Yes.
where we have murder in excess of 100 every year, and we say that is okay.
No, no.
You have so
it
many
can't be.
innocent lives lost in the process.
This is where you need a national government that could stamp it out.
Yeah,
That's what the
I
government is
agree
there
with the
for.
Minister of National Security. Said he's saying the right thing. Now we have to put action behind that and make sure our judiciary, I could say unequivocally from where I said, has failed the Yemen people. Because
Okay.
the whole fact of the matter is why you have people with three and four murders on the street, it's all to do with the judiciary,
Yes.
right?
Yes,
Because
that's correct.
every time you put them before the court, in less than a week, they're back on the street. So they commit the same crime again.
That is possible. Yes, it has
And so
happened.
they reoffend and innocent lives are taken out.
So when these lives are lost, you can't get them back.
Right. You know, an
And that is what
apology
needs
or
to be
I'm sorry
understood.
for the loss of your loved one. That's not going to
That's not going to bring them
bring
back.
he or she back.
No, it doesn't. We have to be in a position where we have the judiciary and the lawmakers putting in measures that are preventative or to
Yeah.
punish persons who
But
are going the wrong way.
one of your callers some minutes ago, like he said, there's nothing going to happen unless we as a people come together and understand that this is our country.
No,
And
it is.
if we are not prepared to protect it, then who else gonna come here and do it for you?
No, it's a
This
good
is
question.
where we born, scream, and shout. We have to be prepared to grab the bull by the horn, like you said, and get educated on the Constitution and know what your rights are within the law and do what is necessary.
No, that is correct.
All
That's
right,
why. That's
thank you
why.
very much.
Yeah, thank you, caller. That's why we're saying to the public, it's a lot of hard work to be done, Bahamians. One or two people can't do it. It needs a lot of support, financial support. It needs strength, Bahamians. Because you got to have town meetings. You have to have constitutional classes.
If
You
you'd
have to
like
have
to make a call,
constitutional
please
lessons.
hang up and try
You have to have a
again.
research
If you need
team.
help, hang up and then dial your
There are many
operator.
things that need to be done. And Bahamians, you got to understand, you got to move quickly. You can't keep sitting back complaining day in and day out. Time is very short. Time is very valuable. You have to use it now. We need new arrangements, new personalities,
Yes,
righteous people now. I tell you, God tell you plainly. Proverbs
like it.
29:2. And also 2 Samuel 23, I think it is, or
Yeah,
23. The
yeah,
point is you need to have people in authority,
who are just.
God-fearing, who are righteous, who will
Yes,
do what is right in the best interest of your people. And we can identify and find out. But are we serious about it? Lady Russell, are you there?
yes, I am. Yes,
Okay,
I
go ahead,
am.
Russell.
You used to talk about Article 21, I believe.
24. 24.
24. Yeah,
Yeah.
state it again for us. What does it say?
Article 24:1. The last phrase of Article 24:1. Where you have the authority by the Constitution of this country to protect your interests, even if the government
Oh,
of the Bahamas doesn't do it, even if your MP is not doing it, you have the authority to do it. And you don't
yeah,
need their permission to do it. Because if
yeah,
they fail you, as the caller just said, and the caller before that, what the heck do you want to do? You're going to keep going after people who keep failing you? It doesn't make any sense. It's insanity.
Yeah,
59 years is a long time, Bahamians, for
yeah.
this foolishness and this nonsense. Look at the crime problem we have in here. Look what we're going through. The people who have the authority, you gave them the authority. 37, no, 32-7, the last run in the last general election. What does that mean? Bahamians, you
Mm.
got to understand what you are doing as the electorate in this country. What message are you sending? You give these people a massive landslide of seats, and all they got is problems. What are we saying? What are we doing, Bahamians? Hey, Russell, go ahead.
I think we need to get out of our traditional behaviors and acting as though we're party supporters, loyal party supporters. And so, what I'm suggesting is PLPs, FNMs, DNAs, whatever your political party loyalty, join the Patriots. We took legal action to secure the name, never mind all those other foolish conversations. They are not legal. Those are fraudulent conversations by people who never did what was legally correct. As a matter of fact, Mr. Halson Moultrie, who started off being the attorney for the Patriots, he became very annoyed when he noticed that things weren't being legally done. There was never a bank account form. The people just never acted correctly. And so even the attorney got annoyed and sort of moved away. And so what I'm suggesting is if groups of Bahamians would come together, forget about your political party affiliation, come together in agreement to get the country's problems sorted out. That calls for a new arrangement, not the old arrangement. You say 59 years, Brother Thompson, child, I was right
Hey,
there for the 59. I'm
I've been there
68
too.
now. I was right there. That's not working for us. We've got to
It
make
is
new
no,
arrangements. What the song say? Mommy no light in the kitchen. We
yeah,
need to make a new arrangement,
we have
Bahamian.
no.
And so we have got to agree, forget about political party affiliations. We've got to agree about the future of the Bahamas. What
Yes,
quality of persons we're going to empower to do our business. You
yes.
can't get a teeth and chicken to count the corn. You ain't gonna get, listen,
That,
you're not gonna get any corn at the end of the day. You take a beat and eat it.
that's right.
Um, you've got to do things properly, legally. We've got to have proper accounting. We
Yes,
have accountants who could account for money. If 10,000 of us bring $100, that's $1 million. That could pay for any court case. We need to agree to do things in our own best interest and not keep waiting for people to show up to rescue us. It's not going to happen. Most people who show up, just they planning to rob you. We've got to agree together, form committees to do specific things, have proper accounting on the money, and hire professional people to do things. There are lawyers in England. There are lawyers in Jamaica who know how to cause the government to stop giving away the passports. They know what to do. We can hire them, not wait for some new political entity to trying to get the power to tell us lies and tricks. Those are manipulations. Don't listen. It's not true. And you're not going to get a Haitian to solve the Haitian problem. Only a Bahamian will do that. So we've got to be very clear on who it is that we're empowering. We got to see your papers. Who's your mother? Who's your father? Where you from? Where your grandpa from? I want to know about your grandparents. Did you just spring here? Did you come on a boat and run up on the beach? Because we ain't gonna hire you to do nothing. We know what time it is. You trying to get mommy and poppy them from Haiti over here. We're not interested in that. That's not working for us. You cannot have cultural disparity and a peaceful country. You're not gonna have it. You talk, Professor.
Yeah, no, definitely, I agree with you. Now, here's what I'm trying to get people to understand. A political party will put up a particular candidate in a given constituency. That is the most they can do. The problem in choosing a parliamentary representative is totally different outside the jurisdiction of a political party. Do you understand that, Bahamians? That's why you got
Mm.
Article 24.1. That last phrase in Article 24.1, because the political parties have let you down for the last 59 years. The evidence is right there in front of your face. And you talking about this party and that party? Come on, Bahamians. You have been bamboozled and lied to and deceived over a long period of time.
Yeah.
There are people who were living in this country who are now deceased, who wanted a better way of life.
Yeah.
But they didn't see it, Bahamians, because we kept doing crap election after election after election.
Yes.
Look at the record of what you have done.
Yes.
You give these parties massive landslide of seats. The last two elections, let's look at them 35-4, 32-7. What are we saying? And yet we still have more problems than ever before. They have the numbers, they can make the changes, but you haven't seen any changes. Look at the laws that have been passed in the House of Assembly just recently. You don't examine these things to see whether they're constitutionally sound. You don't do that. I tell you, it takes time to do these things. That's why I tell you we need 49 people, groups of seven. 7 by 7 is 49. Because
Answer.
there's a lot of things that have to be unearthed, Bahamians. It takes time to get it right. So when I come on air, I come with hardcore evidence.
Yep.
You know,
You sure do.
speculation.
Sure do.
We
You
can't
always
operate like that. We have to know who we're dealing with, Bahamians.
yes.
You don't just send people to the House of Assembly because
No,
that particular personality got on one shirt or one
yeah.
pants or one
Yeah.
dress or one
Yeah.
hat. Come on, Bahamians, we got to get beyond that.
Yeah.
That has fooled and lied to us for 59 years. How much more crap
Yeah.
do we want? You need
Hmm.
people of character. God says, when the righteous in authority, the people rejoice. And
I
then in
agree.
2 Samuel 23, verse 22, verse 3, I think it is,
Yes.
it says, people who are ruling must rule righteously in the fear of the Lord.
Bad. Yes.
Our Constitution says we come under God. We are
Yeah.
under the authority of God. Where's God in our knowledge? You hear any of them talk about God? Even when they making plans with them funny things they sign with all those different countries out there, don't you
Yeah.
know we got to examine them in light of the Constitution? That means
Yeah.
that takes time.
Yes.
How else are we going to know if we don't sit and have teams of people to go through the crap that they have already signed?
Yes.
That's what people need to understand. And we tell you, it takes time. It takes funding, Bahamians. You
Yes.
can't just sit on your backside and expect them to do it because it ain't going to happen.
But
They have
Professor,
signed it, didn't tell you anything, didn't get any consultation with you because that's the way they've been operating.
unconstitutionally.
It's unconstitutional. That's why I always look at my constitution and ask the question, is this constitutionally sound? Yes
Yep.
or no?
Yep.
And that's what you have to do, Bahamians. You can't keep taking this crap over and over and over and over again. Then you grumble, you complain. Bahamians, we could do better than that. Let's
I
put
agree.
God into our knowledge, Bahamians, because
Yes.
He's out of it. And He's
Yes.
allowing us to suffer because we're not listening to Him. And you
Well,
expect to get better results? You're not going to get any better results. It's not going to happen. Go ahead, Lady Russell.
God Himself did us a favor, I think. The other day when Kamala Harris came and told she brought a big check for our government so that LGBT studies would be included in the school curriculum for our children. But see, when I tell you that He is the great I am, He made sure that rainbow flag, it not only don't fly here, it don't fly no place in the world. God shut it down. And so Kamala Harris and Biden and all them, The people will soon forget their names. Their agenda is in the dust. And Donald Trump, though not a perfect man, he has come up with some serious changes to the American system of governance that's going to improve that country. And if we would learn from that, I believe ours would be greatly improved. This
Yes, it would
crime
be.
crisis, this failure of our young people, purposelessness, we can fix that. We're gonna have to go into the neighborhoods with leaders like Scrooge and others, and Bobo Tino and others. We're going to have to develop programs for our young people. There's a bright future for them in the Bahamas. I worked on it. That transshipment facility at Grand Bahama, that's the future of goods and shipment moving in this whole hemisphere. That's jobs for our young people. There's unlimited land down there. There's houses for them to build. There's children for them to born. That's why we can't have no LGBT foolishness. We are a small population. Our children are going to make babies. They're going to marry, and they're going to serve the living God in the mighty name of Jesus.
And God has warned us about these marriages with these strangers. He said they will turn you away from me.
Ah,
Israel was given that warning over and over and over again. You got to be careful who you allow to enter your country.
I
That
like
is
that.
very important, Bahamians. You
I
can't
like
just
that.
let any and everybody become a citizen in your country.
Amen.
Are they for your benefit? Yes or no? Because you see, when you come into God's program, God looks at it and say, now listen, you see them funny things what them people doing? I don't want that in here.
Well, our Constitution doesn't allow every and anybody to become
No,
a
it
citizen.
doesn't.
I don't know
It
what these
really
people are
doesn't.
doing. It is not constitutional. You have to be born to a Bahamian. We can't sell you a passport. We could sell you a permanent residence if you have $250,000. I was a part of making that law when we worked at the Grand Bahama Port Authority in anticipation of getting China. Hong Kong was going back to China. In anticipation of encouraging those people to come this way, the government, the then government of the Bahamas, developed a program where for an investment of a certain amount, you would get a permanent residence. Citizenship has never been for sale in the Bahamas. We can get rid of these people, though. I know that.
I know that too. Yes, you're quite right about that. The lines are open 3260272, 8130-271. Bahamians, it is time for action because we are limited with time. See, God only gives you X amount of time. You know, He's been very
Yeah.
patient with us. You look at the way things are happening around the world. Look what's happening in Sudan. Look what's happening in Ukraine. Look what's happening in Russia. Look what's happening. Even the Russians now want to interfere with those European nations, flying into their airspace and doing foolishness and nonsense. But the president already told them they have to unify to protect Ukraine. They have the numbers. They got the ammunition. They got the manpower. They got everything. But they need to use it for the advancement of those nations and not allow the tiger, the paper tiger, to get away with foolishness. You got to stop buying their oil. That's what the man told them. You keep feeding the enemy, then the enemy will keep fighting you. So you got to cut off the supply, Bahamians. We got to do the same thing here. Cut off the supply of those persons who have had the opportunity to run this place and they have proven that they're not capable. The evidence is
Mhm,
right in front of you. How much more do
mhm.
you want, Bahamian? You can't go through another 59 years of this foolishness.
No.
You just can't. Too much time has already passed. I have seen people who wanted to see this place change. Unfortunately, too many of them are not there. We've lost too many people over the last 59 years. Young,
Mhm.
some of our seniors. I understand even with Dr. Norman Gay. I haven't heard any announcement on the radio about him. What happened? Here's a man who has done well for the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Just like he doesn't exist. Not a word. How we get like that? Why are we so disrespecting of those who've done well for the country? All of a sudden, not even mention the man's name. What are we saying, Bahamian? See, these are the kind of things that are wrong, and we need to fix it. And if those who are there now can't fix it, no problem. We have to find new arrangements, new people with bright ideas who want to go by the Constitution now, not some flippin' republic. We don't need no flippin' republic in this country. We need the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Bahamas. It is a very strong document. It can help us to get a lot of things done. And if there's anything in there to change, the document tells you how to change it. It's right there in the document. Here are the steps to change any article that people want to change in that Constitution. But some people don't want that. They want to control it themselves. But no, the man say, you want to change this, you got to go to the people. Every time you got to go to the people, 50 plus 1%. This is Professor Sidney Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network 99.5 FM. The lines are open 326-0272-813-0271. We'll be back after the break.
Express Yourself Live will return right after this.
Health emergencies? Don't wait until payday, and neither should your health coverage. At Harvest Insurance Agents and Brokers, we have the National Workers Healthcare Plan, great for individuals 50 and over, offering coverage for routine checkups, hospital care, air ambulance, and even a wellness program. Plus, we have an extensive network of trusted providers. So whether you're in Nassau, Abaco, or another family island, you're covered.
Discussion of today's issue. Yeah, let your voice be heard. Speak your mind and express yourself. Yeah. Call in and participate at 326-0271 or 326-0272. WhatsApp us your concerns on 809-2310. Follow us live on Facebook and globalradio99.5fm.com. Express yourself.
This is Professor Sidney Walter Thompson. We have the last portion of the show, some 30 minutes or thereabouts. And Bahamians, we have to move very quickly. The lines are open 326-0272-813-0271. Let me give you my email again. The email for Professor Sidney MacArthur, Walter Thompson, the state of the nation 242 at gmail.com. I need 12,000 of you to send me that email because we need you to support what is being done, Bahamians. Put your phone numbers on the email. That is very important. And we will give you instructions as to how you ought to proceed. Once we get the email, we will be in touch with you and we will let you know what it is. Or you may decide to call me. I'll give you the number when I'm off here, when I'm not in the studio. The number you can call me through National Affairs. 325. Let me give the whole thing. 1242 for people outside the country. 1242 325 8652. Let me repeat that. 1242 325 8652. You call me anytime, day or night. It doesn't matter to me. If you have a caller, Mr. Producer, call you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, you could hear me, Professor.
Yeah, I can hear you clearly. Yeah.
Professor, how you expect this place to be any better when we don't respect the God of the Bible?
Okay, I accept that.
The God of the Bible is the Lord of the Sabbath. This
That's
country
correct.
don't keep the Sabbath. We
Yeah,
don't respect the Sabbath.
Yeah, they have
This
all
place,
kind. They have all
you have
kind
to
of
keep
things.
10 commandments.
That's why some of these things, what they have on Saturday, I just be in church. I tell them I got to attend service 11 o'clock Saturday morning. That's the Sabbath. Yeah, I agree with you.
He is the God of the Sabbath.
Yes, he is. But them fellas want to keep another day. That's another problem.
So we guys,
I'm calling you correct. We have to keep the 10 commandments. This is why God says when the righteous are in authority, you got to get righteous people to run the place.
boy, I don't know. Thanks, though.
But thanks for your call. We have to get people to do it, Bahamians. That's the only way. God says those that are ruling, 2 Samuel 22 or 23 was 22 verse 3, I think it is. I got to get the correct meaning on that. The point is you have to be just and fair, ruling in the fear of the Lord. You can't be doing crap. I think we have another call online. Call you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, Professor, I just thought I'd call back on this while I remember this is so fundamentally important. What has happened now is that China has a serious problem, land problem, real estate problem that weighed some $50 billion that is now only weighed 300 million. You see, because
Wow.
what I does in my spare time too, I pay attention to what has happened globally. That's the only way we're going to be able to make a real change in this country, because we're going to know who these people are who coming from outside our borders and trying to get our land.
Yes,
That's the
that's
only
correct.
way we're going to know, you know.
Yeah.
They are, imagine now what has happened in China and Hong Kong right now because of that. The $50 billion estate is now renegade, is now only worth 300 million. Just imagine that. 300 million.
That's a huge drop. Huge
And
drop.
from 50 billion, you know.
Yeah,
with a
you,
B.
I hear you. I need you to
So
send me that. I need you to
we
send
must
me
be
that
very
information.
concerned, sir, as to who we allow to get be a part of our nation. And because they come here they have interior motive. Don't let them tell you otherwise.
Okay, I'll call. We have a WhatsApp line 813-0271. Please send me that information.
Okay, give me that number again, sir.
813, Mr. Bruce, that's the number. 813-0271.
813
0271.
0271.
You send that right here to the station, and I will get it. My producer's going to deal with it for me. We need to get. That's the kind of information we need.
Right. You know, I was always curious as to why they were so concerned about trying to get a major island, Andros. I was concerned, and now as I paid attention to the British broadcasting, when they brought that to my attention, I said, "Well, monkey foot."
That's right.
And I just got that information about a day or two ago.
Yeah, the BBC is very good at informing the public on a lot of
right,
worldwide,
and I want the public to be abreast. So don't believe that China going to do you? Whatever China do for you, they are looking for something in return,
That means they're not doing anything for you.
right? And so they're saying that they're giving you a good low percentage on a rate on this $300 million hospital they're supposed to do, right? But the whole and turmoil, and even the minister himself said he is just now in negotiation as to the ratio of Chinese to Bahamian.
That's
What are we
exactly what he
doing?
said. And
What
yet,
are we doing?
yeah, I agree with you. And he said some other things. I'm gonna have to let my producer see if he could find that
Okay,
tape. I don't
all
know.
right. Thanks a lot. I will get this information to you.
Yeah, please do. 8130271.
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Producer, I don't know if we won't be able to do that probably with the limited time we have now, but see if you could set that up tomorrow where the Minister of Health, we could discuss that tomorrow. Tomorrow is Thursday. We could put that on for tomorrow. And of course, the next will be open line Friday. The point is that we need to understand what is going on, Bahamians. That's why I am saying to you, we need our research team. 49 persons on the research team. We got a lot of digging up to do. We have to examine every single agreement that the Bahamas government has signed saying they are doing it for us. Only way we can know. We got to look at the thing. We got to have teams of people examining these things and bringing it to the attention of the professor. When it comes to the constitutional part now, I got to make sure that part's straight. Because if it isn't constitutionally sound, that's a whole loss of a different color. Mr. Bruce, we have another caller. Oh, Lady Russell. Yeah, I get back to Lady Russell. I haven't forgotten Lady Russell. Lady Russell, go ahead, please.
And I think you should put me on your research team because
Okay.
I have a great concern regarding the PMH right at this moment, and I thank God for PMH, such as it is. But I know if we don't control our immigration, if we continually allow the invasion, then those services at PMH will never reach Bahamians.
Because
Secondly,
I heard
mhm,
from one of the chief surgeons there, and he made this
mhm,
public.
mhm,
Shortages of medicines.
yes,
Vast shortages of medicines.
yes, and supplies,
I
and
mean, how we
supplies.
get like this? What kind of hospital we running?
Well, we're running a hospital that's taking care of a nation that numbers maybe 12 million souls.
Yeah, wait.
And the leader of our nation is acting as though those people have an entitlement. I shall never forgive him for that
No, you
because that is a death sentence to Bahamians. And the
Yes,
man you had on yesterday, Mr. Marvin Johnson, Patriot number 7, he has
yeah,
been reporting for some time now some slack
58.
conditions in the dialysis unit that
Yeah,
could lead to his death. There are
yeah,
lots of people that are dying needlessly in conditions that are not sanitary. And
sanitary.
I can
You
say
said
that.
the people were
And if
there.
they want to challenge me, I can prove it. I have the pictures. I'm looking at water with fecal matter, urine. That cannot be around a dialysis patient. They're going
I
to
am
suffer
going,
contamination.
as the talk shows, I'm going to call them out, and we want them to speak to it publicly. Like the two
Another,
persons.
another,
Listen, Lady Russell, hold
uh-huh,
on a minute.
uh-huh.
I called the managing director of Bahamas Air.
Yes.
That
Um,
son of a gun doesn't want to come out to speak publicly on that issue with
he
Bahamas
can't
Air.
explain 4 flights a week that go back empty. He cannot
That's what
explain
I
it.
wanted to find out from him about those reports. He said there's nothing to discuss,
Yes, I can imagine.
but
That's
we
because
will
he,
deal with him very decisively. Then that other
yes.
fool they have as head of the Antiquities and Monuments thing.
What did he say?
Things. No, he wanted to have a private meeting with me. I said, sir, I will not
Mhm,
have a private meeting with you. This is a public matter. I want you to
yeah,
come on air. I want the people to hear what I ask you and what you say
mhm.
to them.
You're
So they
talking about the people with the funny language. That's the language.
he
that-
refused to do that. But we can deal with the two of those son of a guns. Okay? But the point is they are the kind of people we have getting our money.
Yeah, well, we'll fix
They're
it.
not performing in their roles.
We'll fix it.
The government
We'll
need
fix
to
it.
understand that. You got these underlings in there who you give this authority to, and then they say they want to stay in the dark. Huh?
But Professor, I think there's a point at which a government suffers a philosophical divergence with the people, and then the people know what they must do. The Minister of Health insists that the hospital, the one that they're going to put us in debt to build, will be for maternity. Bahamians don't have babies. So are you proposing to give birth to more Haitian babies in our Bahamas? Those are Haitian children. They are not our business. Any child, their constitution and ours say, any child born to Haitian parents is Haitian. Why are we going into debt to birth Haitian babies? We have other priorities. Our people suffer from a number of diseases related to poor dietary choices,
Yes,
like diabetes, like
yes,
the need for kidney dialysis. We have other problems. Our women have one of the highest breast cancer rates in the region.
yes,
We
they do.
need surgeries to not die from breast cancer.
Yes,
We
ma'am.
don't need to be planning on birthing babies because Bahamian women ain't having no bun. We can count too good. A $8 bag of bread, that ain't gonna work. You only can have one, can't have eight.
That's
So
right.
so the plan that the government is making for the people of the Bahamas does not suit us. We're going to have to move very quickly to put together teams of people who ensure that we make neighborhood changes. Because each person offering for re-election has to be selected by the persons in those neighborhoods. If they make new selections, they're not going to be there to mismanage our nation and our money. We're going to make new selections, I believe. And I'm inviting everybody, I don't care what party card you hold it, come to the town meeting so that we as Bahamians may determine the way forward for this nation and not have it dictated to us by people who can't pick up the garbage.
Yeah,
That's
they
a
can't pick up.
sad indictment.
Yeah, we have that problem in our area as well because basically what has happened, you see these old broke up trucks, say they collecting garbage and a lot of leakage, Lady Russell, on
I
the
heard,
right
I
in front
heard
of
this.
my house, man,
Oh
right in
Lord.
front of my house, and you
Well,
got that
what I would
stinking
suggest,
smell.
go out with buckets of chlorinated water and wash it down. Because if we have one outbreak of disease in this nation, we're going to be out of business. Those cruise ships will not pull up and the plane won't land. One case of bubonic plague, you're out of business. How could we be that dumb? How could we not know? They just had bubonic plague break out in California the other day. It is not off the table. It is possible if you
Yes,
allow certain conditions.
yes,
Uncollected garbage leads to rats that are infected.
yes, ma'am.
Oh,
The lines are open
that,
326-0272-813-0271. We're in the last part of this show for today. And Bahamians, we have a lot of problems that exist. Don't forget the town meeting that's going to be held on Friday. As Lady Russell mentioned, town meeting by the 242 Patriots. They'll be having their town meeting on at Zion Baptist Church. Shirley and
East
Shirley
Street.
on East Street. Yeah, I got to get it
Yeah,
right. East Street and Shirley Street.
Shirley Street.
That famous church there. It's a good thing right there in the community. So we want you to come out in large numbers uh, to deal with these constitutional issues. And I understand the floor is going to be open for people to speak. I'm
Yeah,
prepared to give a brief remark. I ain't going to talk much because I want to hear from the people who want to have
yes.
their say, but
Yeah.
I'll just speak a few words. I won't. I could say a lot in 2-3 minutes. I don't need that much time because it's your time to talk. Now, when I'm ready to talk, that's a different kettle of fish altogether. We have a
Mhm.
caller you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Hello.
Yes, go
Good
ahead, sir.
afternoon. Good
Good
afternoon,
afternoon, sir.
Thompson.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was right here listening to the show. What happens is I just end up changing the dial inadvertently, but I forgot that somebody told me he was actually on the air. This is the same station Michelle Malcolm used to be on, right?
Yeah, that is correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so yeah, I wanted to touch on the guy who was calling and talking about China and its ulterior agendas, right? This is nothing new, given the fact that the book, The Confession of Itma, has been written. So we know about economic uh, stealth type of infiltration of a country, right?
Yes.
It is done like basically the main message was they're after the Earth's resources. And I've been saying this for almost a decade now on the radio. Most people really can't conceive. But it has to be done insidiously. They
I'm
will
not
come with
going
an
to
idea.
disagree with that. You're correct on that. This is why.
And so I've had many conversations with Dr. Gilbert Morris from Death to Nature Swap to Ocean's Monopoly that you don't really hear politicians speak about. But as to the immigration issue, I'm disappointed in this administration, really and truly, because it's blatant out traitorous, and it's really ridiculous what they're doing and they're saying, right? I really relate to immigration, and so what hurts me, Mr. Thompson, I live in the inner city and I live amongst these people, and I interact with them, and I have nothing against them, but the fact that, the PM try to gaslight us on what the actual situation on the ground is really ridiculous and insulting. Because you can move around and see the dilemma. I'm not talking about the social economic fallout, hospitals, schools, et cetera, because I'm suffering from that now because I had to send my child to a private school, way. But that's the real chronology of the problem. They're not really interested in fixing it, as people speak every day. And so Nordy said something on the rebroadcast yesterday in which Bahamians are afraid to speak out, which is really ridiculous for me, right? I can't understand that. And there's a narrative that, I don't know if you heard about an incident that happened at Harbor Bay Eye Clinic in the doctor's office. I don't know if you heard about that. Did you hear about it?
I don't. When did it happen?
Yeah, there's an incident that unfolded in that office with a migrant lady and a group of Bahamians. I don't know.
I'm not.
I don't want to talk about it.
No.
But in this dilemma, I'm trying to find who's responsible for this contention and between the Haitian and the Bahamian, which is really ridiculous. So if you're not integrating and you're not assimilating, and then you're allowing people to form shanty towns, and the government could just pass a simple shanty town act and create a dilemma for them versus facilitating them. You saw the Prime Minister said there's no immigration problem. It's really ridiculous. So, but I'm saying that it should. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's an insult.
Yeah.
You see these rhetoric on social media, and then nobody lambastes that community for their anti-Bahamian rhetorics or their anti-social rhetorics, right? But they're Bahamians, and so I'm looking at it as really, it's sedition.
Yeah.
Look at it. They might say why if these other countries have these problem with facilitating Haitian migrants, the government still didn't find it appropriate to at least control migration. Some form of data to show where we need these people for labor, and but the audacity and the willing to subjugate the Bahamian people, because you hear the narratives on social media, Mr. Thompson.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is what I wanted to touch on. The Minister of National Security. I want you to comment on this because I found it really ridiculous that he would comment on President Trump shooting people coming through on boat, allegedly smuggling drugs.
Yeah.
So unless someone is on that, it's an FBI informant or whatever, I don't know how you could suspect that everybody moving through and go fast, is really smuggling drugs. International waters. I'm looking at the legality of the international laws. Nobody's willing to touch on it. But he's saying, telling the people that don't smuggle drugs, which I might agree. But what I'm saying is, you just think they deserve to be shot out of the water? He didn't mention anything about the human smuggling with the Chinese, who were caught with 30, the Bahamians were caught with 30 of them on the boat, and then 2 minors was on the boat, which automatically means human trafficking.
That's correct.
And I told all imbeciles that human trafficking, drug smuggling, and gun running, they all interface one another. And crime.
Yeah,
that's right. When people come, whoever the spokesmen are talking about crime, it's foolishness. How could you talk about crime without interfacing all of these, Mr. Thompson? That's what I'm saying. So you really
No, you raise a good point.
These are just common things, even so the article appeared obscured in maybe the 3rd or 4th page on the Tribune, in which a U.S. official said the Bahamas has lax its immigration laws, and he was the one that commented on these guys smuggling the 30 Chinese, etc.
Yes, he did.
He said the Bahamas government has laxed its immigration, the enforcement of its immigration laws. It's in there for everybody to read. Something like that should have been in the front papers. So I'm upset with the Tribune and all, because they shouldn't let people tell them where to put an article.
No, you're quite right.
Why? Even so, the other day with the cases concerning, the United States have evidence. You had the cases with Sonny Miller, Inspector Curtis, Curtis, I don't know what rank he's superintendent, but all these things is just being put forward, and all the other incidents and dubious incidents of citizens' money being taken during searches, etc., etc.
Yes.
The commission, nobody's answered to these things, So I mean, to me, a citizen, we deserve better than this. without my children, there's hopelessness for me. There's despair, there's dissolution, there's frustration. Coming
Well,
across.
This
So
is
I'm
why
glad you reminded me of the conclave, the meeting that will be taking place at
it's
Zion,
on
right?
Friday at Zion, the 7 o'clock
but
sharp.
things
Yeah.
are so bad here. I want to go to Mount Zion.
Oh, okay.
It's ridiculous. Keep it up, man, Mr.
Yeah, well,
Thompson.
thank you very much
Come
for
on.
your
Praise
contribution.
God.
Mr.
Praise
Blues,
God.
we have another call on the line. Caller, you're
Okay.
live on air. Go ahead, please.
Hey, how you doing, Mr. Thompson?
Hey,
And
what's
to your,
happening?
all this on your guest, Lady Russell. You know what y'all two is my two favorite people in the Bahamas.
Amen.
There you
Amen.
go.
Yeah, because you know this immigration thing is a big thing for me. Because, like I told them,
Bring your
I
constituents out to the town meeting on Friday now.
I know I come in. See, I come in.
Hmm.
Bring them with
This thing
you.
in. See,
Those
Mr. Thompson.
those in
Huh?
your particular constituency who say they're supporting you, you got to bring
Well,
them with you.
I will let them know. Especially if I see a flyer on Facebook, I will share it and I will put it in my community group. Because I am got in
Wonderful.
the community group where I live. So we
Wonderful.
speak. And so for me, I am just a citizen at this point, a citizen that
Mhm.
cares and who have grown. We've been an independent nation for 52. And of the 52 years, I have been in there for 43 years out of the 52.
Mhm.
And so at 43 now, you know, I said to myself, if someone called me for a job and the job
Mhm.
and the person who was doing it before wasn't doing a good job, so they calling me to fix the job. And I tell them I can fix the job, charge them, and then and I go to do the job, I realize I can't fix the job, or I don't want to fix the job, or whatever it is, and then I don't want then it's a problem because the job never gets fixed. That's how
Okay.
I see this current government. What they
Mhm.
did, you know, Mr. Davis
Mhm.
in the 2021 before election, he was so adamant to get this election done, as if he got the plan. And all he wanted to do was come in the country and the PMC just to give away, just to have us feel like we second class in our nation. Just a couple of weeks ago, I was on a job. I was assessing a yard, and there was a construction site going on, and everybody in the site was Haitian. Two people pull up
Mhm.
on the site, no papers,
Mhm.
but they looking for
Mhm.
jobs. See, we already know what's going on, but then they
Mhm.
want public news, and they want to tell everybody that the immigration ain't a problem, and that because everybody in the sector, they don't know what's going on.
Okay.
Mhm.
And for us,
Mhm.
landscaping and for us. Now, why the young man don't want to work? That's another thing that we have to deal with. Now, that is
Mhm.
another chance from the Bahamas Construction Association. What I
Mhm.
recognize is that they know the problem exists, but what they don't do is they don't give a solution. They
Yeah.
don't even create a way to call young men in and start to have a conversation about
Yeah.
why they ain't waiting. What's the
Okay.
problem? We ain't getting grievances. We ain't dealing with these things to really get to the bottom of our problem for our citizens. All they care about is getting their projects done with these undocumented people. That this money just coming in the country and going out the country to Haiti.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
this last point. Yesterday I was talking to a Haitian man. He born to both parents, Haitian, and he born in the Bahamas. So he's school in the Bahamas. Bahamas is all he know. I said to him, "Do you know about iridium? Iridium, IRIDIUM."
D-I-U-M.
He said,
Haiti.
"No." I said, "He's a Haitian, and you don't know." I said, "Brave said he's a Haitian, and he never come and tell y'all that Haiti got iridium. When you
Uh-huh.
Google it, iridium is more valuable than gold.
Yep.
The Haitian people just go,
Absolutely.
every Haitian man you ask them, a woman ask, and you ask them, do you know what iridium is? They don't even know what
Yeah.
that is.
Okay.
All they've been told is to come to the Bahamas, leave their nation, leave their wealth, and now want to try to fight us down for our things when they have their own things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you for your contribution because we're running out of time. Let's
Mhm.
get back to Lady Russell. Lady Russell, give your last point, please.
Yes, well, I hope that caller and others will come to the town meeting on Friday at Zion Baptist on East and Shirley Streets. And I
Yes.
want to say this to their hearts. Fraud is an immortal crime. All those people who behaved fraudulently in our business will be prosecuted. It's like murder. It will not go away. There's no statute of limitations. They're going to pay for what they did to us. Thank you so much, Brother Thompson, for
Thank
the
you. Thank you,
opportunity.
Lady Russell. And that's Lady Russell, her closing remarks. Bahamians, of course, I will have to say to you that we have to be very careful of the personalities we send to run our national affairs. It has been a real trying time. God has been very merciful to us, you know. You see the kind of things that are happening in so many nations around the world. You see the flooding that has occurred in South China and also Taiwan, and also you have flooding in Hong Kong. They call it a typhoon over there. They got a different name for these hurricanes over there. Typhoon over here is called hurricanes. And it's caused a lot of damage payments. And also the violence in Nepal and other countries where they literally ripped the government off and burned down the buildings and violence in the street, dead bodies all over the place. You want to see that happen in Bahamas? We have enough of our problems right now. We need solutions, Bahamians. Do not let it get to the point where it gets worse than what it is now. We got to try and keep this thing under cover. We're not a people who want to go and chop people's heads off or smash people with rocks. We don't behave like that. No genuine Bahamians behave like that. We have had peaceful transition of governments. And if we have to transition again, it has to be done peacefully, not violently from 1729, right on up to today. Change of administrations over and repeatedly without firing one shot, even though some of them are weightless. Okay? But that's the mistake we've made in the past. Now we got to get God in our knowledge and begin to follow his clear-cut instructions as to the kind of people we need to run this place. This is Professor Sidney McArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network, 99.5 FM. Do not forget to send me that email now. The State of the Nation 242 at gmail.com. I want 12,000 of you to send me that email today. Please put your phone numbers on it, and I'll give you instructions as to how you to proceed. This is Professor Sidney McArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network, 99.5 FM. Have a very pleasant afternoon. I'll be here tomorrow.